Buenas and half a day. Happy Monday. It's 8:04 here from our Universal Church in Dededo. And we usually don't come here at this time, but today is a different Monday. It's a unique week where we are teaching everybody what to do so that by this Sunday, you also can have your own personal experience with the Spirit of God. We have been showing people, teaching people, and even sharing testimonies of people who have received the Holy Spirit. And this here is a verse that I'm sure will help you, will show you how or what to do so that you also can receive the Spirit of God. In Jeremiah 29, verse 13. If you have a Bible, you can see it there, or it should be loading there on your page in just a few. But it says, "You will seek me and you will find me when you search for me with all of your heart." Again, you will seek me and you will find me when you search me or search for me with all of your heart. That's what this verse is giving as a direction. What you want is that inner change. How to reach that inner change? How can you be one with God? When you seek Him with all of your heart. That's the idea behind this week, that we are praying, that we are seeking, that we are fasting, that we are asking God to baptize with His Spirit those who still have not been able to say, "Pastor, I received the Holy Spirit." Some of you have not been able to say that. Some of you have even become a little frustrated because you have prayed, you have maybe even done a fast of Daniel, and it still has not happened with you yet. It does not mean that it will not take place, but it does mean that there are certain things that must be done that have not been done yet. Let's watch here.
I was a very depressed person. I felt lonely, scared, with anxiety, with a lot of health issues, with family problems. I felt very empty inside. My father, for many years, suffered with the addiction of alcohol. My parents would always be arguing. My mom always had a bad mood. And to make it worse, my mom had health problems, epileptic seizures, migraine headaches, chronic pain. So I would see all this, and this would make me more depressed, and I would get anxiety when my mom had to be rushed to the hospital. I just felt very miserable. Then I started having problems with eating disorder. I became anorexic. I was weighing like 115 pounds and I went down to 90 pounds. So I was always struggling. I had a low self-esteem. I had the problems at home. I would see my parents argue all the time. And then I had a lot of health issues too. I suffered with a lot of migraine headaches and insomnia. So I always wanted to be in my room, but the windows and the curtains had to be closed because the light would bother me when I would get the headaches. I felt very bad. I couldn't find a way out, and I felt that nobody understood me, and I felt that nobody could help me. I wanted to commit suicide. One time I tried with pills, and the next time I wanted to do it with a gun. So I put a gun in my head and I locked myself in my room. And when I wanted to pull, before I wanted to pull the trigger, the first thing that would come to my mind would be, I'm going to hurt my family. And I started coming to the Universal Church because I was invited by my grandmother. When I started going to church, and I learned that there was evil that existed, there was demons that existed, then I started thinking, oh, okay, now I understand. There's a problem with me. I have a spiritual problem. So that's another reason why I started going Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and then when I started going Fridays. And it took me like a year to get delivered. But when I started opening my heart slowly and I started not feeling so fearful, I started seeing a difference in my life. And I said, okay, this is a spiritual problem. I have a spiritual problem, and I need help. My life has to change. So the day I started opening my heart and accepting that I had a problem is the day that God helped me and my life changed. I invited my parents, and then they found out that what I was saying, there was things that were happening in my room and all the things that were going around my life. They noticed that, there is evil spirits, and they do exist, and they're here to ruin your life. And so when they started coming, my dad started getting delivered, not drinking as much. My mom, her attitude started to change, became more united, not angry anymore. They would compromise. They would be more understanding. My household started changing. I started changing. There's no more depression. There's no more anxiety. There's no more wanting to kill myself. No. Now I'm happy because God's in my life. I'm happy because God gave me a wonderful man, and I've been married for 9 years already, and we're very happy. He's my best friend. The Holy Spirit is everything. It's the most important thing. And without the Holy Spirit, I don't think you can't do anything. I think the Holy Spirit is like the best treasure that a person could receive. Without the Holy Spirit, I wouldn't be alive today. Without the Holy Spirit, I wouldn't see a transformed family. I wouldn't be in a happy marriage. I wouldn't be feeling good about myself and loving myself and having the desire to help others. Without the Holy Spirit, you really cannot accomplish anything. You could go to a certain level, but you can't get 100%. For all those people out there they think that there's no solution to their problems, there is a solution. I invite you to come to the Universal Church. You've probably been knocking a lot of doors, but if you knock at this door will be open. And once you walk into this place, your life will be transformed, and you'll feel happy. You'll have a reason to keep on living and keep on moving on, and you'll be happier as a human being.
You saw what God did in this woman's life. Her name's Lillian. She's from our church in California. If you have family out there in California, we have several locations that they can join us and be a part of these meetings as well. But that's what she did, and that's what you also can do. You also can receive the same spirit that put a smile on her face. Perhaps you have a spirit that put tears on your face, that put sadness on your face, but you still have not had your experience with the spirit that can make all things different, all things new. We're going to speak here, try our best to speak to Pastor Benny from Wedo out there in Chuk. Pastor Benny, good morning.
Morning, Pastor Samuel. Morning, everyone.
To all those who are watching, we are in this week where we are praying, where we are preparing ourselves to be seeking the Spirit of God, especially this Sunday. And we just watched this testimony of this lady who was very depressed, was suicidal, had an eating disorder, low self-esteem. She had the spirit that was putting tears in her eyes. But today she has a different spirit. The Holy Spirit put a smile on her face. And that's what many people out there, over here, all over the world, they are searching for. But unfortunately, they've been searching for it in the wrong places.
That's true, Pastor. How many people they like trying to complete the puzzle of their life with their own pieces? And this is what happens. They try to feel that emptiness, the emptiness that is caused because of the lack of the Holy Spirit. They try to fill it with friendships and they get involved with the wrong kind of friends. They try to fill it with addictions and they get deeper into addiction to alcohol, to cigarettes, to weed, to whatever. But actually, just like a puzzle, there is the right piece. And as long as we don't get that right piece in that spot, they'll never be complete. As long as we don't get the right piece, we'll never truly find the happiness, the joy. We'll never truly feel complete in our lives. And this is the problem of many people today, here also in Chuk, in Guam, and all over the world. People, they are searching. People, they are trying. People, they want to know, is it really possible to have a complete life? Is it really possible to be free from all these torment, all this suffering that I'm facing? Is it truly possible to be happy? But as long as you keep trying to fit the wrong piece into the puzzle, it will never be possible. But when you embrace this opportunity, just like in this testimony, she embraced the opportunity to transform her life, to receive the Spirit of God. So that's what God can do. There's nothing that God cannot change. There's no impossible situation that God cannot change, Pastor Samuel.
And this verse illustrates perfectly what we're talking about. And you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all of your heart. We began this purpose yesterday, and we are going to continue every day of this week. That little page, that little paper that you received in the church, if you did not receive one, you can go to one church today. It has this, it has like a prayer hand on it. It has the verse of John, and you are going to write your name there, and you are going to keep that with you or put it in a place that you will see it every day, every day. And throughout that day, you are going to pray and you are going to ask God for what you need the most. It's not what you want the most, but what you need the most. You might want a lot of things. You want money, you want family, you want the boyfriend, girlfriend, you want the to be able to travel. You might want a lot of things, but there is one thing that you are in need of. And that one thing is the Spirit of God inside of you. Pastor Benny, where can they go to both pick up this paper and also participate of the services there today?
Yes, we are here at the second floor of the CPUC here in Huero Chuk Island. You can join us today, Monday. We're going to have the next service at 10 a.m., in the afternoon at 3 p.m., and the main service at 6 p.m.
Second floor of CPUC, there across the street from Midland Mall. and very easy for you to find, those of you who know where CPUC is. And we are going to be here in the same faith, 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll be here with all of you at 205 West League One Avenue, right behind the Payless in Dedido. Pastor Manuel at 4, and then I'll be back at 7 p.m. for a prayer asking the Lord to bless all those who work in a restaurant. You work as a cashier, you work as a cook, you work as dishwasher, the bus boy, you are a waitress, a waiter. If you work in the food and beverage industry, we want to see you here today. Pastor, what if I don't work in that industry? Do I still come? Of course you can. But today the blessing will be specifically for these who have been a very large part of the economy of our islands. Restaurants in general have been where many people have been finding their first job or even been employed for many, many years. So come and join us today at one of these times. And don't forget, these things you want, but His Spirit is what you need. You want to have the job, you want to pay off your debt, you want to be able to help your family off island, do all of that. But there is one thing that you are in need of, one thing that you need. And that one thing has to be the thing that you want the most, the Spirit of God. If you have any questions, you can send us a message here on Messenger, and you can leave you can speak to us here through our WhatsApp 671-971-7171. Pastor Benny, God bless all the people out there in Chuk. We'll be back tomorrow with one more message, one more testimony, and on our road to this Sunday, the first Sunday of this month, May 4th, where we are going to have this big event, wanting or asking God for what we are in need of the most, His presence in our lives. God bless.